Yalla Home with Anna Schofield and Big Hass.
Live till 8 o'clock. Nice having you at Yalla Home. Boy, it's hot out there. I just ran back trying to find something from the car, and it is an absolute scorchio out there. Do take care. Yesterday, they did a big announcement saying, guys, we are about 10 degrees hotter than this time last year. There's record temperatures because there's been so little rain this year. As a result, the land hasn't had time to kind of cool down. So it's just getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Temperatures reached 49 degrees in one of the Emirates over the weekend, particularly on Sunday. And they said normally it would be about 31. So just take care. Even walking to the car, I've lived here 10 years. I love it. All right, let's have a look at the global headlines. I'm just trying to find the figures for today, actually. I'm just trying to look at the UAE numbers. Sometimes they have them, sometimes they don't. I'm just looking. I can't see them yet. All right, that's all right. I'll catch you up later. Looking at the global headlines, there's some funny old headlines today. Some of the schools in Europe are now actually planning, this is quite interesting, an extended longer day. They're now saying that if they make the day longer, they hope to catch the children up because of they've had massive embargoes. The children haven't been at school for far longer than they haven't been at school here. So they came out saying that today. Also, the Queen of England, has planned her Platinum Jubilee. It's going to be a 4-day bank holiday, star-studded weekend and concert, and there'll be a pageant announced. Honestly, if I know my royal family, I know that it's a go big or go home. So brace yourself, because the world pictures will be incredible. I'll tell you everything later on in the show. There's the most hilarious video trending. Well, not so hilarious for the woman in it, but brilliant to watch. It's trending today, and it's actually the last few hours. It was in America. It's in California. Basically, this big brown bear. Now, brown bears, you don't mess with them. The big grizzlies, I mean, they'll kill you. And also, they're quite feisty. So, actually, if they see you, they're like, "Come on, then." They want a bit of a fight. Very dangerous animals. Anyway, it's walking along a wall in California between two houses. It's walking along a wall, and obviously, there's a garden on both sides. And the dogs, there's some dogs that obviously live there. These two little ones and these two sort of bigger sized ones, and they're all row, 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 row at the bear. And the bear's like, "Come on then, I'll eat you in one bite." So the dogs go towards the bear. The bear's on the wall. One of the dogs jumps up, and the bear goes to eat it, and a teenager runs out and screams, pushes her dog away, and pushes the bear off the wall with her bare hands. And the bear is so shocked that actually he just goes, "What's happening?" And falls backwards. And in that time, she scoops up 3 dogs and runs away. Most amazing video. It's kind of one of those funny, feel-good things because everyone survives, no one's hurt. So it's quite good. Have a look. Sliding towards catastrophe is one of the headlines today. Iconic British species, and they are, of course, talking about the beautiful puffin bird. They're so threatened, they're so in trouble, and it's climate change that is causing this. Sort of humans haven't directly done it to the puffins. It's more that it's just kind of climate change that we really need to pay attention to. And I'm just looking, more than a third of the world's deaths caused by heat. I know it's not a happy thing, but it's caused by climate change, which is really interesting. If you think of the summer that we're having here in the UAE, they're now saying just be careful because the world is so hot. And lastly, the Peru's COVID numbers are so bad now. They've doubled to over 180,000. There's been an official review over there. And it seems as one area of the world just starts to get a grip on it, another area of the world is having a terrible time. I heard someone speaking today saying that there are enough vaccines now in existence to actually vaccinate nearly everybody in the world. But the problem is that some countries have the vaccines and some countries don't. And you have a situation where only 5% of the world is actually vaccinated. And until we roll the vaccines out to everyone, we're not going to be able to benefit from the vaccine situation because there will always be a new variant coming through. And now that I've depressed everybody, let's have some music. It's 5:20. Keep it here at Yalla Home. I'm going to be talking about the Eid al-Adha holidays next. It could be a week-long break here in the UAE. Whoop, whoop. It's going to be lovely.
Yalla Home with Anna Schofield and Big Hass.
Anna Schofield, in fact, tonight, live till 8 o'clock, keeping you warm till then. 4215, keep your messages coming in. I would obviously like to, I'm just going to be very honest, I'd love to put some of you on air because when I chat to you, It's lovely, obviously. But the problem is we're having all kinds of incredible work done here at Sharjah Broadcasting Authority, and they're putting in new television studios and they're sprucing up the place. As a result, everything's being rewired and done. Our studios are beautiful because they're quite new, but everyone around us is having, a new layout. And as a result, we've had to change some of the wiring. And at the moment, we can't put anyone on live. I don't know whether you've noticed it. We can't do anyone live. It's really annoying for all of us. Just wanted you to know why. But I can read out your texts, so keep them coming. All right, let's talk about Eid al-Adha. The holiday is coming up soon. And they announced today in the glorious way that UAE residents are likely to get almost a week off next month. So I'm looking at the dates. We're talking about July the 19th. This is when they're expecting it. Now, and the exact dates, obviously, of Eid al-Adha depend on the sighting of the moon. But this is what they're expecting. They're expecting everything to start on Monday, July the 19th. And then we get a day off for Arafah Day. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I worry that I'm not. And this marks the second day of the Hajj pilgrimage and the day before Eid al-Adha. And there's obviously this beautiful religious festival going on. Lots of people doing the pilgrimage. And they're talking about giving us 3 days off, taking the holiday up to Thursday, July the 22nd. So I hope that gives you a lovely, warm, vibey feeling as you're driving home tonight. The authorities in Saudi Arabia have confirmed that Hajj will take place this year, which is really nice. But there are obviously precautions in place to stem the spread of COVID-19 and the pandemic. And knowing the UAE, as we all do, they will do that thoroughly. So anyway, the point is that we'll all be able to have a beautiful holiday and celebrate together. Take it easy. We're nearly coming up to 5:30. I'm just looking. Are we going to do the headlines? Are we going to play a song? I think we're going to play a song. No, we're going to do the headlines. Excellent, excellent. Coming up here. Keep it here. It's Yalla Home.
Yalla Home with Ella Schofield and Big House.
It's fun in here tonight. 20 to 6. Anna Schofield keeping you warm till 8 o'clock tonight. And it's properly warm out there. Let's talk about Taylor Swift. There's a new film project, doesn't have a name. But if I said to you, Taylor Swift cast alongside Christian Bale, Margot Robbie and Rami Malek, what would you say? Because I immediately heard that and went, wow. Now, the last time Taylor Swift took to the screen. She actually did a Netflix series, Miss America, but she also was in Cats. Who remembers Cats? Who watched Cats? I've never watched it. I've only seen snippets of it. But I do want to watch it because it got panned so completely. And Cats had everybody good in it. Like Idris Elba was in it, and Judi Dench, and Jennifer Hudson, and Jason Derulo was in it, for goodness sake. And still it got panned. It's funny, isn't it? Andrew Lloyd Webber's movie. But she was in that, and apparently her performance in it was very, very good. I think that just overall the film was panned. But anyway, David O. Russell, he's a singer-songwriter, and it's his project and doesn't have a name. She's just been signed for it, so maybe it does have a name. They're not just telling us yet. Also, Zoe Saldana's in it. I love her. She's amazing. So nobody knows much about this particular project, but apparently it's going to be based on an original idea. The director is award-winning. He's won an Oscar. Oh, he did American Hustler and Silver Linings Playbook. There you go. That's why. So he's worked with the best and he's signed her up. So all of this kind of stuff is really interesting. What they do say when they're talking about it, though, is that how hard Taylor worked during the pandemic, because a lot of artists obviously took some downtime. I mean, it's been horrible for everyone. No one can actually get booked because there's nothing to get booked for. But she released 2 albums during the lockdown and the pandemic, which is quite amazing, and also got good reviews for them as well. So she keeps herself busy. What did she release? Folklore and Evermore. Back to back as well. So she made history as well recently for the Grammy for Album of the Year for Folklore. So that made her the first woman to win Album of the Year for the 3rd time. She's won it twice before. The woman is amazing. Whatever you think of her, love her or hate her, she writes her own music. She is incredible. I mean, she's just a machine. She churns it out. But let's keep an eye out for this, because this is going to be good. The whole cast is amazing. Margot Robbie, Christian Bale, Rami Malek, who I adore. I am totally in. Watch this space. 20 to 6. Keep it here at Yalla Home. It's Pulse 95.
Yalla Home with Ella Schofield and Big House.
Anna Schofield actually keeping it all warm while Hass is having a few days off. It's Wednesday, the day before the weekend. Let's talk about endangered species. Now, with the risk of, people are driving home, people are listening now in the evening, they actually just want to chill. So I don't want to kick off about the World Wildlife Fund and climate change. I'm sure you don't want to hear me bleating in your ear, but I will talk about puffins because they're amazing. And it actually is on the back of a kind of a discussion about climate change, because there is a huge summit coming up. It's the COP26 Climate Summit. It's going to be held in Glasgow in the UK this year. It's not always held in the UK, but it is this year. And what they're saying is the future of some of the most treasured species in the world, including puffins, the bird puffins, bluebells, and bumblebees. Who's seen a bumblebee? I'm just going to ask, Ray, have you seen a bumblebee? Do you know what a bumblebee is? You do. So the big bee that looks like... Okay, so bumblebees, just so everyone knows, because I don't know whether just an English thing. I've never seen a bumblebee here in the UAE. But a bumblebee is completely harmless. So they look like... So they've got the same kind of black and yellow as wasps and bees, but they're not honeybees. They do sort of fly from flower to flower, but they're big and puffy. It's like a big puffy bee. It's like it's been pumped up with sort of a tire pumper, and then it's got little black legs. Super sweet, the bumblebee, really lovely thing. And although they're big, they don't sting. So children can get very frightened of them because obviously they're afraid of wasps and bees and things like that. And the bumblebee's just a lovely, lovely thing. For the longest time, they couldn't work out how the bumblebee flew because it's the size of its body in relation to its wings. Apparently, scientifically, it shouldn't be able to fly, but it does. So that's how much that species has kind of taken hold. It's such a quirky little animal. Anyway, what they're saying from this kind of conservation report is it's the heat again. Now, bearing in mind that UAE has had the most crazy year already, we've had barely any rain. They've identified 12 species worldwide whose habitats are going to be badly impacted by climate change, and they're saying there's going to be 0.5 degree change in the next year, and with that 1.5 actually. And when that happens, this is just going to have this huge, significant effect and permanently damage so much of the natural ecosystem that leads to all sorts of things going wrong. Snow leopards, there are only 4,000 snow leopards left in the whole world. And when you get to things like puffins, so let me describe a puffin for you. They've got this like hook beak. They look like penguins, except that they're sort of, they have a hook beak. And they fish properly and hook fish out of the water. Mind you, so do penguins. But penguins kind of swim. Puffins are similar but not similar. But really strange orange and black kind of beak. Honestly, people are going, really, how long is she going to talk about the beak of a puffin for? But I really love a puffin. Look, I'm going to show it to my team here in the studio. How sweet. Yeah, Eve, see? Even Ray's going, wow, that is some freaky looking bird. But you see, they're cute. They're super cute, the puffin. We need to save them. Anyway, so all this heat is not doing us well, and we need to save the puffins. When Hass gets back tomorrow, I'll tell him that we're going to start a Save the Puffin Fund. That'll go down well. He'll be really enthralled. It's 6:30. Let's take some headlines now on Yalla Home.
Yalla Home with Anna Schofield and Big Hass.
20 to 7 tonight. It is, of course, Wednesday evening. Lovely. Tomorrow, Thursday. Let's keep that in mind. Be safe out there. Yalla Home. I want to talk about the most gorgeous, lovely 10-year-old Filipino boy from Abu Dhabi who has stunned the judges on America's Got Talent. And he was so incredible. He actually charmed them from the moment he walked on the stage. So if you see the clip, that's what you're going to see, and it's worth a watch. It's lovely when you get something like this because you obviously feel like you own them. So to see him in America talking to the judges, talking to Heidi Klum, talking to the most incredibly famous people, he basically walked on and they had a chat with him. And I'm calling him Peter Rosalita. Hope I'm pronouncing that okay. And they said to Peter, so where are you from? And he turned around and he said, I was born in Abu Dhabi. I'm 10 years old, but I am Filipino. And they went, right. He then proceeded to perform a 1975 song by Eric Carmen, All By Myself. You might know it when Celine Dion did it in 1996. It's on her albums. And she has a siren going off in her version. I like the pre-version. Anyway, 10 years old. He knocked it out the park. And what's so sweet is he stood there in this white suit paired with a blue shirt and a blue tie. Like, he looks super on point. He's there to be a star. Walks on confidently, calmly, just super charming. And proud of the fact that he's a Filipino citizen and loves and also seems to love Abu Dhabi. They then said to him, okay, what would you do if you won $1 million, which is the prize money? And he turned around and said he would buy a Nintendo Switch and a laptop for his online schooling. Bless. Really, really sweet. So they warmed up to his song, apparently. He started off really low down, and you'll hear that if you go and look at it on the video. Then he shocked the crowd because he went into the chorus and hit all these major, major jumps, and Simon Cowell was just looking at this kid. And by the time he was done, all four judges, Sofia Vergara, amazing. They were all on their feet. He got a standing ovation. They absolutely loved him. And yeah, he's knocked everyone's socks off. I feel proud. I know he's Filipino, but also I feel like he belongs to us here in the UAE. It's gorgeous. Go and have I would play it to you, but we can't right now. But go and Google it and you will find him. Absolutely gorgeous. Well done, Peter. We love you. It's coming up for 7:15. It's Yalla Home on Pulse 95.
Yalla Home with Anna Schofield and Big House.
Just Anna Schofield. It's 7:15, sliding through till 8 o'clock. Bit of Eve. Love Eve. She's such a lovely person. All right, let's talk about Coachella, the music festival in California. Big deal this, because it's a statement that it makes obviously about itself, but obviously it's a statement being made about other things opening. There was lots of talk a couple of weeks ago about Glastonbury planning its 2022 arrival. I think all these festivals hoped that there would be a 2021 date, but it's not happening, is it? So plans were scrapped for Glastonbury and for Coachella. And what they've done is they've said they are returning. They've named the date and they're about to start selling tickets this Friday. That's how convinced they are it's going to go ahead. April 2022. Put that in your diary. So it's 20 years old, this music festival, one of the largest in the world. And it hasn't been here for 2 years. So obviously there's going to be a grab for tickets. But it brings 500,000 fans normally to an open air site in Indio, east of Los Angeles, and it's 2 weekends. So in 2022, they're going to do Friday and Sunday, April the 15th to the 17th. I'm sure everyone's reaching for their diaries now. Let's all plan it. We'll get the flights over. And then Friday to Sunday, April the 22nd to the 24th. And the organisers, called Golden Voice, love that, have said, look, tickets are going on sale on Friday. We are doing this. It's going to happen. They haven't announced the performers, which is quite interesting. But the acts that were supposed to headline in 2020 that was cancelled were Frank Ocean, Rage Against the Machine, who I've seen live and incredible, Travis Scott. And there's also a country music festival in India, which is going to follow Coachella. Hilarious. And that's called Stagecoach. And that's going to go the 29th of April to May the 1st. So live performances that have been cancelled because of COVID-19 are now starting to return to the US and other countries. Obviously, there'll be a vaccination thing, I'm absolutely sure. And in this particular part of America, they're saying, the virus is on the decline. So they're quite confident that they can go ahead. Fingers crossed. It would be lovely. I mean, not that I've ever been to Coachella, but you know what? In my mind, I've been, and I would love to think that it will go ahead. Let's have some more music. It's 7:15 on Yalla Home. Nice having you with me. It's Pulse 95.
Yalla Home with Anna Schofield and Big House.
25 minutes past 7. Nice to have you with me at Yalla Home today. We're across all 7 Emirates. Let's talk about something unique and odd, the Eurovision Song Contest. I think I speak for everyone when I say it is a strange old thing. It's been going for years, literally years. But so the Eurovision Song Contest is what it says on the tin. If you are going, what on earth are you talking about? It was about 2 weeks ago. They hold it every year. It's supposed to be countries from Europe all competing, and every country has a song, and then, they all do their songs, and then every country votes. There are some countries that aren't from Europe involved. No one knows why, but it's what it is. Get this figure. In Iceland, 150,000 people watched the show. That equates to 99.9% of the country's TV viewership. It virtually means that every single person in Iceland tuned in to the Eurovision Song Contest. Sorry, but that is really, really funny. Who remembers Björk? In fact, I'm going to do her on the Music Greats. She's crazy in the most wonderful way, but she is crazy. So you had 180 million people globally watching the final of the Eurovision Song Contest last month, and it literally dominated the viewing figures. 183 million people in 36 countries. Its audience share was increased by 4% on the previous contest in 2019. See, everyone's at home. No one's allowed out, so everyone's like, oh, let's just watch it. And the Broadcasting Union, obviously, for Europe, are just like, this is fantastic. We are doing a good job. And then they started to sort of say who watched what from different countries. But despite the thing that's quite funny, I have to say this. I think the UK, 7.4 million people tuned in on the BBC in the UK to watch this, only to watch UK not score one single point. Nil point. They literally nothing. No one gave us a single point. Now, the thing that they do always say about the Eurovision Song Contest is that countries vote politically. And in a prejudiced way. So, Norway, Sweden, Finland, they always vote for each other. And then you've got a sort of European countries, and they're all in Europe. But then there's sort of Italy and France and things like that. We never vote for the French. The French never vote for us because we don't like each other. We do when we're here in the UAE. We all get on. But if you ask us, we'll all say we hate each other. Silly, isn't it? But there were loads of young people tuning in. 52.8% of people who watched it were between 15 and 24 years old. It's having a resurgence. Amazing. And the BBC in the UK had actually faced calls to stop broadcasting the show in the future. They said, look, that because there are so many accusations that that it's quite political in nature, and the UK never gets on the leaderboard because everyone hates it. But the thing is, everyone watches it. Everyone loves it. So there you go. What can you do? The Eurovision Song Contest having a new revival. Oh, by the way, Italy won. There was actually some really controversial social media that came out of it this year, which was the funniest thing ever. Obviously not for discussion points here, but I think the whole thing is just so utterly ridiculous. There was a hot favourite from Iceland. That's why the whole of Ireland was watching. Now, let me try and pronounce his name. This could go either way, guys. Hang in there. Stay with me. Dadi Freyr. Let's hope that's his name. If you're from Iceland and you know how to pronounce that name, 4215. I will take advice on that. He was the hot favourite for the contest, but he only came fourth. Yeah, and his track was called 10 Years. There you go. You see, I am quite interested. I want to watch it now. Let's all tune in next year. Hey, I'll get Big Hass on it. Brilliant. Heading for the headlines, but let's have a song first. It is, of course, Yalla Home on Pulse 95. Anna Schofield here live till 8. Big Hass back tomorrow. Brace everybody. It'll be full on Yalla Home tomorrow.
If you liked this episode of Yalla Home, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.